growing in here with the golden seal, we have bloodroot. And here's some bloodroot here, there, there's some over there. And bloodroot is also a traditional Native American remedy, as is golden seal, as is witch hazel, as is bayberry. These are all, not the hops, but most of the plants we've looked at, and not the chase tree, are native species. And bloodroot, which is also known as red puccoon. Puccoon seems to be a sort of derivation, probably from an Eastern native language. I don't know which one. Possibly Algonquin, one of the Algonquin languages, and it meant root. So you'll see sometimes things, red puccoon, black puccoon, white puccoon in some of the older literature. And again, that was, you know, as the colonists learned plants from the native folks, they often, you know, adopted some of those names, of course, because these plants, none of these grew in Europe, so they were totally new to the colonists / invaders. Anyway, bloodroot, the part used is the root, and it's called bloodroot because it's got this really orange, sort of orangish red color. It was used to dye things orangish red. This day in Cherokee basketry, they still use bloodroot. If you see a Cherokee basket and it has an orange color, that's bloodroot dye. They don't use, Cherokee basket makers don't use any artificial dyes. It also was used to dye feathers. It was used mixed with animal fat to make paint, face paint, body paint. And then of course it was used internally as a medicine. It's very strong, it's a low dose herb. When you're using something like bloodroot, you should be only taking, oh my goodness, you know, drop doses. It is used for dry spasmodic coughs. And there's this thing, and we talked about it in class at least once or twice, and I call it Winston's law of similars. And it's kind of this neo-homeopathic thing, or the law of reverse energetics. And what it is that, you know, in homeopathy, you take something that in large amounts causes one effect, and then you take it in these highly diluted minute amounts to remedy that. Well, what I've noticed over the decades is that certain plants, if you take that have an energy, so in the case of bloodroot, the energy is hot and dry. But if you take it in drop doses, it's useful for hot and dry conditions. If you use a little bit more, it'll make those hot, dry conditions much worse. And so this is true actually of a lot of plants that are used in very small doses. A lot of our more toxic remedies, used in very tiny amounts, do one thing. And I'm not talking about homeopathic doses. They're material doses. They're just very small. They will do one thing. So this herb actually works really well for like adult pertussis, where you've got that spasmodic dry cough that you've been coughing for a month and a half and it won't go away. Small amounts of that with some licorice, some wild cherry bark, maybe some mullein can work really great. And I'll take that tincture and I'll put it in the Chinese loquat syrup, and it's a lovely little remedy.